love today, people.
It's Friday.
Feeling the love.
It is
Yes.
Friday.
However, who is the point distributor? So who
You.
should you be nice to? One would think.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. Just a suggestion.
Business.
I forgot what I was supposed to say. No. I tallied how many points you already have for the week. Don't be asking for points today. You need to earn a point today, for sure. I already got too many to talk about. Today, we are going to do 3 things, all listed on the board. Well, besides Math Workshop. If you count Math Workshop, it's technically 4. You can take a point away for being silly. I'm sure you'll earn it back at some point.
What?
Didn't you make a stupid noise right now?
No.
Okay, I imagined it in my head.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, outside group. Okay, it was me. It was me. My bad. Okay, moving on. No. Oh, God, what did I just talk about? Y'all already got too many
Talking about
points.
like points and all that.
I know. Most groups, except your group, most groups did not get to even start their checkpoint yesterday. I had 2 groups that finished. Good for you. You have less to do than the other 10. Well, let me look at it. I didn't actually grade it. So we're going to finish our checkpoint, our group checkpoint. Again, checkpoints are supposed to be perfect scores. So if you miss something, I'm going to say, hey, go back to this one until you get it right. If this is a group one, I probably won't be very nice. I'll probably say you missed one somewhere in between 1 and 5.
Well, that's not bad.
And not say you missed number 2. I'll probably just give you a range of problems. We're also going to check the worksheet you turned in yesterday. I'm going to check that today so I can hand it back to you. My plan, which I forgot about my original plan, my plan was I acknowledge the fact that I'm not going to see some of your pretty faces on Monday, which is fine. It is what it is. I care about you, but I'm here regardless. You can come see me, you cannot. It is what it is. I meant to go ahead and give you the math workshop for next week, but since I didn't print it out and hand it to you, I'll post it on Google Classroom. So if you wanted to be an overachiever and go ahead and start it on Monday, if I'm not going to see your face, it's not a bad idea. However, everyone today is going to get the test review for Tuesday's test. That's all we're going to work on Monday is the test review. So, hey, if you get all this stuff done, that means Monday can be a fun, like we can, when I say fun, like what are you missing, let's make sure your grade is good fun. I'm not really like the let's party fun. I meant like let's get your grade good fun. But Monday can be a fun day if you get all the things done. But as you walked in, you picked up a worksheet, correct?
Yep.
Okay, there's good news and bad news with that. I'm assuming the assignment you didn't pick it up, right?
I forgot it.
Okay, you'll come get one in a second. What's going to break your heart, though, is that on the back, so on the front, it's just supposed to be helpful notes to remind you. Because, let's be honest, somebody left their tiny handout in here, so you'll get it, Taylor. You go for it.
Good.
Yeah, you can get it. Here, take mine. Somebody forgot their tiny notes yesterday. That was very silly of them. Why is that? Why is it silly?
We can't use it on this. We need it.
You need it. When did you get to use it? On the test. So you would think you would make it your friend, but apparently you ignored me. That is your own thing, whatever. So I felt sorry for you. So it already had, I'm still in here. It already had the properties again on the front in case you forgot them between yesterday and today. And then on the back it has a practice worksheet. However, different people have different versions. There's a practice A and a practice B. So don't think that, you can work with your people if you like, but not everyone's going to have the same version. Sorry for that. It is what it is. That keeps life more exciting. As soon as we go over this math workshop, you're free to work on your checkpoint, then your new worksheet, and then last but not least, your test review, which I will pass out in just a moment. Can you help me go over this annoying problem? Anyone have any thoughts on the one math workshop question of the day? Okay, what's the formula for the area of a circle?
Pi r squared.
And your group gets a point. What's the formula for the circumference of a circle? Your group gets a point. I know you did pi times diameter at some point in life. That one's great too, but we specifically want this one. Why do we like, what do these two formulas have in common?
We got pi.
R. So table 3 can get a point. Yes, they both have pi. Isn't pi a number? Yeah, we talked about it's an irrational number. We're looking for variables, and they both have an R in common. Okay. Yeah, they both have, well, this one only has one R. That one has 2. Okay. So our formula that you just told me is the area of a circle, but we're using the radius to find it. So technically, It's A is a function of R. We need the radius in order to determine the area. Similarly, we could say that the circumference formula is circumference as a function of R, because we need the radius to determine the circumference of the circle. Now, that sounds great, Miss Compton, but the problem says AC, and you've written AR and CR, so somehow we have to get both worlds to combine. Okay, since we're wanting AC, I'm really wanting the normal formula for area, like pi and then something squared, but I don't want to put R's, I want to have C's, because it was A of C, not A of R. So how are we going to fix this? We need to take our formula for circumference, which is 2 pi r, and we need to rearrange it. If I wanted to get the variable r all by itself in this formula, what would I do?
Take R out of the other one.
Divide by 2 pi, table 2 gets the point, divide by 2 pi. So the circumference divided by 2 pi is r. And then you pass algebra and then geometry and algebra 2 with trig and probably even pre-cal or whatever it is you pass, and at some point you had to do substitution. So it used to be pi r squared, but now everywhere you see an r, instead you're going to put 2 and 3 get a point. So everywhere I see an r in my old formula, it used to be pi r squared, but we just found out that r is actually c over 2 pi. And you're like, Miss Thompson, this looks ridiculous. I much prefer pi r squared, and trust me, me too, but I can follow directions. They wanted an area formula, but when they put in the parentheses c, that meant they wanted it in terms of their circumference. And then, sadly, we're still not done, because it asks for independent and dependent. In this formula we've written, does area depend upon circumference, or does circumference depend upon area?
Area. Circumference on area.
Don't just guess things. Look at what we wrote, which one makes sense. Table 2 can have the point. So area is dependent upon, you just guessed both though, at least she was confident with herself. So you were confident it was one or the other. Area is dependent upon circumference, and you're like, confident, how do you know that? If we pick a C, it's going to change our A. Whatever C we pick is going to change the overall A we get out. So if we had to label independent and dependent, we would say that area is the dependent and circumference is the independent. I swear next week we're going to do life out of order, because I cannot do a hard problem on a Friday next week. I just cannot. I, like you, am lazy on Friday. Are there any questions about that one? Now, on the ACT, there was one similar to this. It was worded a little better, in my opinion. But again, do you know the area formula? Do you know the circumference formula? Do you think maybe you could draw a connection between the two and pick out between multiple choice ones which one was correct? Maybe. Let's practice. Okay. Let me get back those checkpoints to the groups that didn't finish. If your group did finish, go ahead and start working on your worksheet. Yes, dear.